Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined with Miguda and Makobura. Habari ya jioni.
Niko salama kaka yangu, hali yako vipi?
Mi kwema. Labda Makobura. Let me figure something. As you say, Makobura.
Mimi pia hapa niko salama, nashukuru Mola, mambo iko shwari, najivunia yale yote.
Unasema nini?
Nasema hata mimi hapa niko shwari, nashukuru,
Mm.
najivunia yale mazuri ambayo Mola amenipea.
Okay. Asante sana Makobura kujivunia yale Mola amekupatia ama amekupea, ni sawa. Pia tunashukuru kwa sababu ametupatia hai. Leo hii naweza sema kwamba ni huzuni kubwa kwa wale ambao walikuwa wamependa kusikiza ama wale ambao walikuwa marafiki wa Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Leo aliaga dunia, yeah? Na ni mkongwe katika habari ama tuseme katika kitu ambacho hata sisi tunafanya hapa. Ni mtu ambaye alikuwa na sauti ya kipekee, na hata kipindi chake ambacho alikuwa anafanya Je, Huu Ni Ungwana na Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Sijui kama mlipata bahati kusikiza kipindi yake ya Je, Huu Ni Ungwana na Leonard Mambo Mbotela.
Nadhani sikupata nafasi ya kusikiza na hiyo kipindi yake ya Je, Hii Ni Ungwana,
Yeah.
lakini cha muhimu nilipata ni yeye ndio alitumika na wanajeshi wakati wanajeshi walijaribu kupindua serikali. Yeye ndio alitumika na wanajeshi kutangaza ya kwamba serikali iko mikononi ya wanajeshi, na sasa kila polisi na raia na kila mfungwa awachiliwe uhuru na mngoje tangazo na kuja baadaye. Hiyo ni kuna hiyo kamili kwamba alitumika na wanajeshi kutangaza. Na baadaye unapata baada ya kutangaza papo na yule hayati Ouko na Ochuka,
Yes.
alikuwa anaongoza hiyo kikosi. Baadaye yule Jenerali Mohamud Mohamed alikuja na wanajeshi wa nchi kavu na kumwambia tena, wewe Leonard Mambo Mbotela, tangaza tena ya kwamba serikali iko imara na iko chini ya mzee hayati Daniel Arap Moi. Na hivyo pia tangaza wananchi, akawaambia wananchi ya kwamba wananchi, nilikosea kidogo, niko hapa na Jenerali Mohamud na serikali iko imara. Wale tu vijana hawakuwa wanajua kenye wanafanya, wajaribu kupindua serikali, lakini kwa sasa serikali iko chini ya mzee Daniel Arap Moi. Hiyo ni kitu muhimu nakumbuka nayo Leonard Mambo Mbotela.
Hiyo ilikuwa ni changamoto tu ambazo baadhi za changamoto ambao wale ambao wanahusika sana sana na mambo ya habari ukiwa pale KBC labda unakutana nazo. Na wewe Makobura, kuna jambo ambalo unaweza sema kwamba unaweza sema kuhusu Leonard Mambo Mbotela?
Leonard Mambo Mbotela is a renowned journalist who performed exemplary well, and at least he showed the way to the Kenyan journalists. Remember that the pioneers, and he'll be remembered as a journalist par excellence because he fought for the rights of the journalist, showed them the way, and he also, worked in a manner that so many young people who had interest in journalism were, at least they had someone they would follow. So he's left a gap, and as a people will of course remember his good deeds, and we pray that may his soul rest in peace.
Asante sana. Mimi nimepata bahati kusikiza kazi zake, sana sana Je, Huu Ni Ungwana na Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Kazi zake zilikuwa zina funzo kubwa sana sana katika jamii wakati huo, hata naweza sema hata wakati hii tulipo, ama kizazi ambao tuko nazo saa hizi, ukienda kwa kanda zake ama ukienda ukapata nafasi kusikiliza, je, huu ni ungwana, ilikuwa ni funzo kubwa. Siwezi sema kwamba mimi ni baadhi ya watu ambao walipata nafasi kukutana na yeye ana kwa ana, ama kwamba mimi ni ni marafiki zake, lakini mimi naweza sema kwamba urafiki yangu na yeye inakuja tu kwa sauti yake na kazi ambayo alikuwa anafanya. Sikupata bahati kukutana naye ana kwa ana. Na maneno ambayo alikuwa anasema, naweza sema kwamba baadhi zao nimetumia sana kujijenga kimaisha, na pia kujenga himaya na sehemu, ama niweze sema kwamba mazingira yangu ambayo mimi nakaa. So ingawaje umri wake ulikuwa umeenda, lakini naweza sema kwamba maneno zake ziko na mchango mkubwa sana kwa maisha yangu kama msikilizaji wake, na pia rafiki yake kwa sauti na sanaa yake. Kwa hivyo mi natakia familia mema wakati mgumu ambao wanapitia saa hizi, na pia kwa sababu ametangulia mbele ya haki, Mungu amtendee wema. Hiyo tu ndo naweza sema kwa mwenda zake Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Asanteni sana ndugu zangu, kuna vitu vingi ambao zimetendeka. There are so many things that have happened, and let me check in the comment section if somebody is there. We have Brenda Obedi with us, Judith Karwitha too is with us. We're just talking about the legend himself who we lost today, Leonard Mambo Mbotela. Je, huu ni ungwana? Yeah, so we still send our prayers to the family during this difficult time, so that God can give them comfort. Gentlemen, the court has made a ruling that the Kenya Kwanza is not the majority. And Moses Wetangula, the Speaker of the National Assembly, violated the law or violated the constitution of the land. Mr. Miguda, what is your take on the ruling of today?
The court ruling today, in my view, the court for another time has stand with the people, or they have uphold the rule of law, they have defended the constitution, and that is why we have court as that body which interpret the law. Because there were two rulings which were made. First, the court declared Kenya Kwanza to be the minority party in the National Assembly and said that Azimio is the majority party with reasons. Then Wetangula also has been accused that by the time he was elected the Speaker of the National Assembly, he ought to cease being the party leader of Ford Kenya. The reason is the Speaker must act as impartial in that house. And Mr. Wetangula should be non-partisan. He should be neutral. But remember, Ford Kenya formed the coalition of Kenya Kwanza. So when Ford Kenya formed the coalition of Kenya Kwanza, then a party of that coalition being the Speaker, it means that he's no longer impartial, he's no longer neutral, he's no longer non-partisan. You need to have stepped aside. There should be an internal election in the Ford Kenya to set aside Wetangula as the party leader and have a new party leader so that he remains the Speaker of the National Assembly, but not holding the position of the party leader of any political party in the country. And the issue, Wetangula violated the law by allowing 14 members from a certain party to jump to Kenya Kwanza side, because as things stand, there is a political party. In the Political Party Act, is a section that states that once a government is formed, there should be a majority and a minority in the House. And the Speaker should act with the standing orders of the Parliament that allow him to preside on that one. By the time we were from elections, Azimio coalition had more members compared to Kenya Kwanza. But Wetangula made a decision by himself that he allowed Kenya Kwanza to have more members by allowing other members to pass through. That is where he violated the law. And by doing so, it means now, currently with the court decision, Azimio formally is a majority party in the House, and Wetangula should cease being the party leader of Ford Kenya, and should remain the speaker. But you understand also, it has come when it is late, and we are seeing that this debate is justice denied. But there are some consequences that must go on in that decision, Dr. Benson, because right now, it means that if Azimio is the majority in the House as per the court ruling, it means now the Kenya Kwanza must surrender the leadership position, like the majority leader, a majority whip to the Azimio. At the same time, Kenya Kwanza must surrender some committees, like the chair for budget committee, like finance committee. They have to surrender those committees to Azimio. And finally, the allocation of party allocation revenue also must be increased because there's a majority in the House. But still, there is a window. If any party feels that he is aggrieved, he can also seek for other avenues. Maybe he can seek for appeal and other things. But that is the status of the current decision of the court.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda, for that explanation. There's a few cases or the few issues that I will raise with you immediately after Makobura makes his comment on the same. And on the comment section, let me also welcome our good friend, Gypsy Connor. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope you are doing well. Makobura, what is your thought on the court decision today?
Okay, thank you so much. I was actually trying to just invite one of our friends that we hosted some times back.
Yeah.
Who is also a lawyer.
Yes.
I'm trying to engage him here at the comment section. I mean, at this other side. Let me just hear from him. A minute, kindly.
Okay, thank you so much. Makobura is organizing, so if you can get somebody also, a learned friend like Miguda, so we can talk of these issues and the implications that the ruling of today is going to have, especially on the legislative arm of government. And as we still wait for Miguda, because I think like Miguda, Makobura is still engaging somebody. I don't know whether you can come. So my question to you, because you talk of now, as it stands right now, the Azimio should be the majority, and they should surrender kind of some of the committees. That is okay. But now, another big elephant in the room is the broad-based government. How are they going to work on this? Unmute.
That is why I brought the issue of justice delayed is justice denied, because currently it's too late.
Yeah.
The reason why it's too late, there has been mixed up in the formation in the House. Yes. Some of the Azimio members have gone to the so-called broad-based government, and there are some experts who have been donated. But remember, those experts also cease to have positions in their parties. People like John Badi, people like Opio and I, people like they left their portion of the party, and some new members took their position. In my view, that broad-based government does not affect the court decision, because the parties, Azimio, remain the way they are. They're steadfast in those parties. The ODM and Wiper remained, because the leadership structure never went to the cabinet. The people went to the cabinet, their positions were taken by other people. As things are right now, leave alone those people who left. The broad-based government, look at the executive composition, because the broad-based government, those people went to the executive, ceased to become the party officials. but they were replaced by new people. And in the National Assembly, you find that ODM took the position of the minority leader and minority whip. So they have been the minority in the National Assembly. With the decision of the court, because there were two rulings. One, the example violated the constitution. And if you violate the constitution, the decision of the court, is final, unless otherwise, unless you seek other avenues like appeal. But currently, that's what we have as the ruling from the court, that majority party is the Azimio. At the same time, Wetangula, remember, was part of the Kenya Kwanza. So it means he presided as a leader of Kenya Kwanza, as a Ford Kenya leader. He never presided as an impartial speaker. He never presided as a neutral speaker. He took part. He takes some side to preside. In my view, the broad-based government has not affect the political structure, or does not affect the political parties act provision on how the leadership of the House should be managed.
Okay, now we know majority of business of the House has been carried out in the leadership of Kimani Ichung'wah as the majority, and in his capacity as the majority leader, they were acting under unconstitutional framework, because based on the declaration or the judgment that has been made today by the court. What does it mean for those activities that he has presided over as the majority under the violation of the constitution? Because now the pronouncements had been made. So all those that has been pronouncement and committees that he has chaired and decision he has made as the majority leader were made under unconstitutional framework. What does it stand for those activities that he did? That is for Kimani Ichung'wah. Now, come also to the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula, who also is not very partial. We've seen that on how even he acted on the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Now, as now, can somebody also go to the courts and challenge all that activity that Moses Wetangula has presided over as a member of the government in place and taking sides, so that all that they've done can be pronounced unconstitutional?
The current situation as it is, the court has ruled that Speaker Wetangula decision. First, you understand that provision of majority and minority under the Political Parties Act, the decision of Wetangula is under the Parliamentary Standing Order.
Yeah.
The Speaker has the authority to act in that Political Parties Act. Now, Wetangula has violated that act. At the same time, he has violated that Article 103, which talks about impartiality of the Speaker of the National Assembly. It means that based on whatever activities that has taken place in the Parliament, the House businesses, that has been presided by the majority leader, Kimani Ichung'wah, and has been presided by Speaker Wetangula. In my view, you can go to court to challenge based on the current ruling. You can go and base your argument on the current ruling that the court said that, or the process of division of the majority and the minority in the House was unconstitutional. Now, does it mean that the majority leader has been acting not in accordance with the laws? You can go to court challenge that one. At the same time, you can go to court challenge all the activities that has been presided by Wetangula, whether they were constitutional or unconstitutional, because they were being done constitutionally. That's why in my first submission, I begin by stating that it is good now the judiciary has defend and uphold the rule of law. Things were done unconstitutional, but now they're telling that they should be done this way. They're even giving a new solution on how to do things, and they should go in accordance with the laws. So anybody can move to challenge all the activities that were done. But you understand, that's why I talk about justice delayed is justice denied. or too late? Because you understand the time we are running on currently, because we have elections are coming, we
Yeah.
have forthcoming elections. At the same time, we also look at the time William Ruto served in the office of Wetangula. And if you take if any party that has felt that is aggrieved can move to appeal the decision of the High Court. But when you go to appeal that decision at the same time, remember time is also running, because it has taken us time for us to reach to make the decision. What about if you appeal? It can take another 2 years. Where we will be in the next 2 years or 3 years? We'll be in the 2027. That's why I say that too late, and also it's some like justice delays, justice denied. You must look at it in all aspects.
Okay, thank you so much. And I can see our friends on the comment section. Can see Eric Ayaga, habari gani? I said this about Moses Wetangula. My brother Barak alinikea kweli kweli. Today I am vindicated. Okay, I wish Barak was here. Douglas Kibogong, Mark can appeal cure the decision. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining. Makubura, before I also engage Biguda, did you get any good communication from the learned friend?
Okay, I was trying to engage actually 2 or 3 of them. They're saying
Yeah.
that they're somehow committed kidogo, but I've shared with them the link.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe one of them will join.
Okay, thank
But
you so much.
meanwhile,
Okay, thank you so much. We will be waiting for our good friends, especially in the legal fraternity, so that we can understand more about the implications of the ruling. But there's also that room of appealing, and Miguda has talked of about how sometimes it takes long time to make such like decision. I don't know when was this was done early when we were getting into the administration of President William Ruto, but the decision has been made after 2 years. So it tells you that okay, this is what is happening. Makubura, maybe before I engage you again on some other questions and Miguda, what is your take on the ruling?
okay, thank you so much. I wanted to say that the ruling by the High Court that Azimio is the rightful majority party in the National Assembly, it creates and brings so many questions
Yeah.
to the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. And there are so many questions that the people who understands the Constitution and the law also ask themselves so many questions. Because again, the Constitution is not very clear in such when we get into such situations. So the first thing that this thing talks about, I mean, the ruling talks about is, I mean, it somehow shows us the gaps that are there in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, because this ruling nullifies, you know, uh, Speaker Wetangula's decision that was made in 2022. But again, remember Kenya Kwanza has operated as the majority leader for over
Yeah.
actually 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So this means that, I mean, the question that we are now asking ourselves is, does this means that all the legislative decisions that were made under Kenya Kwanza majority leadership were unconstitutional? That is number one. And someone might go to court to ask the same, and it is a genuine concern that the Constitution actually does not give us an explanation how to approach that in this in this point. Again, number two, the question that we are also asking ourselves is, now that Azimio is the majority, so does it mean that the majority leader and the committee leadership should be immediately changed, whereby the likes of Junet becomes the majority, and then the committees which are normally held by the majority party, and then also we change the leadership immediately?
Yeah.
That is something that we are also asking ourselves. And the Constitution again is not clear on that. It does not give an explanation whether in such instances it does not clarify the change of that leadership. So that is number two, something that we are also asking ourselves on that ruling. So that is something else that someone can also go to court and ask, and it will be a question of concern to the people of Kenya. Number three, something else that we are also seeing in this is there is some tension within the executive and the legislature that we are going to experience now, because Ruto has operated under the assumption that Kenya Kwanza is the majority. But what about in this instance where it is going to change that the majority side are going to come from the Azimio? Of course, this is going to frustrate the government's plan and the implementation of the things that they planned to do.
Okay.
And this is going to actually widen. It might bring some confusion between the parliament and the executive, and there's going to be that fight. And then something else that I'm also seeing in this ruling is the judiciary is the one who has nullified, what a good friend, the Speaker of the National Assembly, the ruling that he made that Kenya Kwanza is the majority. Remember now the judiciary is saying they're not the majority, that the Azimio is the majority. There's going to be conflict between the judiciary, of course, and the leadership of the legislature. And the question would there be, who then is right? Is it the Speaker, or does it mean that the uh, the judiciary has more powers to nullify things or matters that had been legally according to the legislative side, that is the Speaker. Remember, the Speaker has so much power in the legislative arm, and in most instances he has the power to make rulings or make some pronouncement which then becomes law. So there's going to be that question and fight between the judiciary, of course, and the legislator, and this is going to weaken the separation of power between judiciary, executive, and this other side, the three arms of the government. Something else that I've also seen here is, of course, Kenya Kwanza is going to appeal, I know.
Yeah.
And if they appeal, this is going to, prolong, I would say, the political instability in the Republic of Kenya. And we are going to see so many shifts whereby those who left Azimio, some of them might come back. And those, of course, in Azimio, they might also start behaving or, saying that they have the right to make some decisions or to think in a way that, makes them look like majority. So there are so many things here that we are going to see. There's a lot of things a lot of battling that we are going to see in the court, but we hope and believe that, of course, the leadership of the legislature is going to accept the fact that whatever direction they give the country was not constitutional.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm seeing our good friend, I am who I am. Thank you for much for joining. And this is the question he is asking. So, what does majority bring? So, what does majority bring food to your table? That's the question that any of the panelists will ask. But Makobura, there's something that you've spoken about, like is going to bring tension. Even in the first stages or the initial stages when this was happening, everybody knew that there was a violation of constitution, both by the president himself, because by inviting the members of Azimio to cross over, or by the members of Azimio crossing over to the president's side, everybody knew that that was a violation of our constitution. That is one. Secondly, another thing also, we knew that Moses Wetangula was supposed to resign because by holding the office of the Speaker of the National Assembly, yeah, you need to be neutral. You know, that's how it usually should be. So these are some of the things that we knew. Let me see what my friend Ken Maraga ruled sometimes back, that Parliament was constitutionally constituted because of two-thirds. Yes, and the Parliament then, when he gave that advisory, the Parliament was supposed to be the Parliament, they were supposed to go for fresh election because that
It
to
was supposed to be dissolved, and
dissolve.
everybody was supposed to go home.
Yeah, but this the third gender, this gender role is something that is, people should discuss it more. So let me, before I ask any question, maybe Miguda, this is what um our good friend is asking: who am I? Who I am? Who am I? Yeah. So what? The majority has been, the ruling has been declared that the Azimio are the majority. Does this bring food onto the table?
I don't know how I'm conceiving the question, but so what does majority bring food to your table? I don't know whose table, but let me just respond to what I think is right.
Mm-hmm.
When you have the majority in the House,
Yeah.
National Assembly,
Mm-hmm.
first you are going to take the leadership like majority leader and minority whip. You control the House business. And if you follow the proceedings of Parliament, you understand that majority leader, minority whip, they are very vital in that House. At the same time, there are some committees that are presumably reserved for the majority, like chair for budget.
Yeah.
And you understand how chair of budget is very critical because it budget for the entire country, budget making process that happens in Parliament for the entire nation. At the same time, you control the finance committee, and the chair of finance committee must come from the majority. And you understand the issue of finance bill every annually, it must be presented to Parliament. We are going to discuss about the finance of the country. We will discuss about the budget of the country as the majority of the party in the National Assembly. At the same time, it brings food on the table because when you talk about revenue allocation for the political party, you are going to be given more compared to the minority party. As for those people who are in the majority side, are going to get more allocation from the political parties act revenue, which usually they are being given. It brings food on the table. To answer, I am who I am.
Yeah.
In my view, for the people who are majority in the house, they get food on the table. It brings food on the table.
Okay. What about you, Makobura? Is there any answer that you can give to our good friend?
You know, the question that I am who I am has asked, that does that bring food to the table? Is that the one you want me to answer?
Yeah, maybe your thought, because is just asking because the ruling has been made, and now when it comes to now, the majority has gone to the Azimio. So he's asking, will that one bring food to the table? It not necessarily mean that in our tables, but in other words, if I want to look at it in terms of literature, will that one change the cost of living to the Kenyans, to us who are living, or the us who are here who are discussing, even to other fellow
Okay.
Kenyans?
Okay. If it is implemented,
Yeah.
according to me, suppose the Azimio are given that mandate to be the majority leader,
Mhm.
I think it can make some few changes because remember they're not in government, so partly they might have some, you know, being that they're going to be the majority, they might have some leeway of fighting for the people of Kenya or making decisions which are going to serve the whole people of Kenya. Remember, when a government is in power and they are in parliament and they have the majority, they always tend to listen or to support the people that really voted for them. So
Yeah.
in this scenario, when a majority is not really coming from the side that supported the government, then partly we might see some few developments or some few they might be given some attention because when matters like finance bill, for example, are going to be talked about, then they have to be consulted in a way that with some with listening to the ground.
Yeah.
But in this case, when it is purely coming from the side of the government, then there is a little bit challenge.
Okay.
So I believe it can somehow, you know, change or bring some few changes.
Okay, thank you so much. And I would want to take this perspective. And the perspective that I want to take is about when it comes to the passing of bills or the bills that are being brought into parliament. We've seen and we've known that so many people have complained about this parliament as one of the worst parliament in terms of parliamentary democracy. Yeah. And there are some of the laws or the bills that have been passed in parliament that are deemed to be executive orders, that they are being signed because some powers have come from the executive. So if we have the minority, if at all we were having that good leadership and the, 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 the people obey or respect the rule of law, and Azimio could have maintained to be Azimio, then food could have come onto the table, because there are some policies that would come into parliament that, since they are the majority and people have to vote over those bills, they could have not passed. Yeah. So in the event, the bills that were, or the bills that will be coming into the parliament, will be bill of good substance that can create change. They're not just any bill that has been proposed can pass through the parliament. So by having bills that are of substance, this one will change even the cost of living, and this one will even create good environment for accountability, transparency into the executive. So with that, I think that one can change on that. Let me see what our viewers are saying. Let me Gitonga. Before Gitonga, there was one that was asked by our good friend Douglas Kibogong. I think implementable, if I'm not wrong. If is this implementable, you will have to answer that. Then we have another thing that also I was watching a show in they challenge your show, it is tribal. Oh, our show, I don't think we are tribal. We I think we are doing a good job. So if there's any way that somebody feel that we are kind of like going to, or being tribal, just let us know and we can correct, because we always believe that in the world that we are in today, no one is very perfect. Maybe we made some pronouncement that were kind of like tribal to some of our viewers or those who have subscribed to our channel. Just let us know, then we will tutarekebisha hayo. Hatutaki kukua watu ambao ni tribal. Issues of Isiolo, we'll talk about that, and that. So thank you so much. And let me also ask you some questions here, because this is a question of legal, especially when it comes to Moses Wetangula. If you violate the constitution of the land, does it have any consequences, Miguda? Will Wetangula have any consequences? Not even now, but in the near future.
Before I respond to the consequences of Speaker Wetangula,
yeah,
the reason why it could be good for the majority to be the Azimio to be majority in the Parliament National Assembly.
Yeah,
it could be good because it could have demonstrate and create that independence of the Parliament. Parliament could be independent, and there will be no one who was going to compromise Parliament from the executive. The executive could not give orders to Parliament or to be independent. Now Parliament could be independent from the onset, because the people who did not win presidential elections are the majority in the National Assembly.
Yep.
And also it could promote the oversight. You understand, one of the primary roles of Parliament is oversight. And Parliament, whenever it's doing the oversight role, is doing it holistically, whereby either you are majority or minority that house, all of you have that moral to oversight. Once you are a member of parliament, you must oversight on behalf of the people, oversight of the executive. So two things could have happened: the independence of parliament, at the same time there could be oversight, because I believe that now no orders could be coming from the above, because the party which is opposition, in quotes, are the currently majority in parliament. And parliament, in my view, should be opposition.
Yeah.
It should always stand for the people, because that house of representation, whereby people are represented, unlike executive where people are being appointed. They should always be at that's why they will give that role of oversight to the government. Wetangula can have some consequences. It depends on the outcome of the ruling or determination, because after every determination or decision of the court, there usually there's some pronouncement by court. Court can pronounce that maybe parties to bear their own cost. It means that it cannot have any consequences, or there's some direction it can give. Maybe Wetangula do so and so. That one now it depends with the court, because it is a discretion of the court whether a party can have consequences or not. Because sometimes even the previous election, you understand that when after ruling, there are some whereby court can give direction that the parties to bear their own cost, or some people can be convicted, some people can be whatever. It depends with the court. But what I want to say is that as things stand right now, Wetangula is not impartial. And that question has been there. Wetangula is not neutral. Wetangula is not non-partisan.
Yeah.
And he ought to have resigned as the party leader for Kenya in accordance with the provisions of the law. In Article 103, talk about impartiality of the speaker. At the same time, Wetangula ought to have allowed Ford Kenya to operate independently, and they have their internal elections and give us a new party for Kenya. Like what happened when Mbadi, the friends were donated as the expert in the government, they all seized their position of party positions, and there were some internal elections, whether they were internal or whatever the elections were, but they were replaced by other people. That is what ought to have happened to Wetangula. As things stand right now, I see that related, but at the same time, Wetangula is also protected by the constitution, because he has that right to appeal whenever he feels that he has been aggrieved by the decision of the High Court.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I'm seeing something here. Okay. Kumbe, let me see. Uh, don't worry. Let me see. Let's go. Don't worry, Benson. You are very much okay. This channel Sound Candid and Son PK Muko Poa Sana. No tribalism, and that's why I'm always here. Thank you so much. Let them confuse facts with tribal. Okay. Give them Douglas. Don't. Okay. There's so much going on. Okay. One of the things is this. In life, you cannot have everybody that is going to agree with you. And you cannot um force or let somebody to be in your circle if they don't want to. That is one. And another thing in this organization or issues like the media, you need to have like an independent mind. One of the things that really gives me hope and gives me uh, uh, a good hope that at least what we're speaking can change the mind of somebody. I rather have two people who can change the mind that will change the course of the country rather than having 1,000 who might not change. So we are here and we are alive to the criticism that comes, and that's what builds us. So we will continue with all the people that we have, and we will continue and continue until that time things will. So Makobura, and you, do you think this one is going to have implications so on Moses Wetangula and also the legislative itself? And this one also, you look at it even in the Senate, especially now when it comes to the Speaker of the Senate. I don't know whether Mheshimiwa Kingi resigned to as a party leader for PAR when he was taking that speakership of the Senate?
Of course, they are going to be. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The ruling is going to affect the personality of the speaker himself.
Yeah.
Remember, he's a legal student or expert. He's a lawyer, and remember, the constitution is there, but the interpretation might be different. In this instance, for example, when the speaker ruled that the Kenya Kwanza had the majority, the question that people would be asking is, what were the reasons why he made this decision?
Yeah.
And if you look at all the decision, I mean, the reasons why, there's a probability that you'll not find any genuine reason. And so his personality and how he make decisions, it would be questionable.
Yeah.
Something else is, remember, this is a public position,
Yeah.
and being that he's holding that public position, when it comes to matters that would be serious matters that would be made by that the position that he holds, there is a lot of questioning that would be subjected to his reasoning and to his decisions. So partly that clarifies the fact that all these decisions that sometimes we see, which are being made on behalf of the people of Kenya, or part of the decisions which are made, and we end up as a people, we are being ruled by those decisions. They are made without following the law, without listening to the people, and what they did to me, I would call it as greed, because actually it is greed. It was unfair for him as the speaker, giving the Kenya Kwanza the position that truly did not belong to them. It was for the Azimio. So, even in the Bible, it is written that give Caesar what belongs to them, what belongs to him, and God what belongs to him. Yeah, so the personality of him, of course, would be questioned. But again,
Mm-hmm.
all the decisions that were made under that leadership, of course, would be questioned. And there's a probability, just the same way I clarified, even the impeachment, everything that was done under the ruling of Kenya Kwanza,
Mm-hmm.
someone can go to court and they can be nullified, because it would be said that, okay, all these things were done. What they were officiated before who? The Speaker of the National Assembly. And what was the ruling of the Speaker? He ruled that the Kenya Kwanza is the majority and the Azimio is the minority. So everything that was passed under that, um, under the leadership of this parliament, can be nullified.
Yeah.
And so that is, taking us back as a country. Remember, when we put laws, we have to follow the laws. Laws are not meant to be followed by the opponents.
Mm-hmm.
And we are all there. Remember, he swore to follow the constitution.
Yeah.
And so that, again, can warrant his impeachment, because he's not followed he's not followed what the constitution
Mm-hmm.
says, and he promised. He carried the Bible before the people and said that I will follow, and he
Yeah.
has not done that.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, that warrant is removal from that position.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now when you look at now as things stand, because even the MPs who decided to cross over to the side of Kenya Kwanza to support them, you know, how does this one now make them look before the eyes of the people, or before the eyes of the Kenyan people? Yeah, and they are the legislators. They are the people who should always make the laws that uh, the majority of Kenyans, or the nation should adhere to be good at. How does it? Where does it put them?
Even though we have political rights whereby I have a right to decide on who to work with,
Yeah.
which political party to associate with,
Yeah.
which coalition to belong to. That one is within the provisions they consider that political right of each and every individual.
Yeah.
It's our civil and political rights. But what I wanted to say is that once a government has been established,
Yeah.
and we are in the parliament whereby we want to elect a speaker, because you cannot cross over, like understand that all like 14 members crossed over to Kenya Kwanza, but they were signatory to Azimio, because what was registered or the document that was deposited at the political parties headquarters
Yeah.
was the Azimio, was not Azimio minus 14 members who are from other party. It was Azimio, and that is what went through the court process, that Azimio had the following parties. There was no Azimio in the exception of people who crossed over. There was Azimio with the people who crossed over. But it was now the duty of Wetangula
Yeah.
to ensure that there is no crossover, because in accordance with the standing order in the House, Wetangula has that duty to ensure that the majority and the minority, all of them reserves their identity in the House.
Yeah.
But that's how, at the establishment of government, that
Yeah.
was what was at stake. But right now you can decide to associate yourself, but it doesn't change what was registered in the political parties headquarters. That's why I say that Political Parties Act talked about majority and minority. Once a government is formed, the coalition or party
Yeah.
with the majority members in the National Assembly form part of the majority party, and that with the lesser party members or coalition members form part of the minority party. That is where the is. And in my view, it was wrong at the onset, and that's why it has been played by in the court of law.
Yeah.
The court has also pronounced itself the way it has pronounced itself. You asked about Kingi having Kingi, who is the Speaker of the Senate.
Mhm.
In what we are discussing today, it is Wetangula who was challenged. Kingi was never challenged. If at all Kingi was challenged, then you could have also go through that route. But I understand that it was Wetangula who was challenged. But I haven't done enough research. But I believe that you can go to the Senate. In the Senate, Kenya Kwanza the majority, not as Mio. It will depend.
Okay, I was just looking at it in terms of one the party leadership, because like when because earlier you explained to us, like, if you have to be speaker of any a speaker, you have to be somebody who does not belong to any political party, or you have to resign from holding any position in those various political parties. But now I was just also looking at it in terms of the Kingi. He's also sitting in the Senate as a speaker, yet he is one of the members of the partners of Kenya Kwanza. Um, uh, how does it, will this one also ring a bell to him and knows that he's there unconstitutionally based on the ruling that has been made?
Actually, that's very right. It can
Yeah.
ring a bell to see to Kingi.
Mhm.
Realize, but you understand the Wetangula and Kingi.
Yeah.
Those are councils. They are land councils. They understand what we are discussing here. They know very well that whatever they did was unconstitutional.
Yeah.
And that is why we say that it is too late.
Yeah.
And it has come whereby people have moved on.
Mhm.
And even Azimio fans who by that time wanted to, by that time Azimio wanted the position of the speaker in the House. They
Yes.
wanted to elect a speaker.
Yeah.
And even current minority leader Junet said that anybody can apply for the position of speaker because of the majority. But now I think it has been overtaken by events, and people are focusing on people are focusing on how to, you understand what people are focusing on, how to send someone home. not those things.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr.
I think
Miguda.
that's a question that I would also want
Okay, go ahead.
to ask Mr. Miguda is, of course, the Constitution says that the majority side should go with the speaker, right? Is that true, Mr. Miguda?
No, I don't think so.
Let me explain before you come in. Just a minute, kindly. A minute. I haven't said that the constitution said that the majority in the house must hold the speaker. No, no, no. Speaker, it depends on how you're going to lobby members of the National Assembly to elect you. It is not automatic that once we are the majority, we must have a speaker. It depends on how you're going to lobby members, your friends, your colleagues, but it is not automatic.
Very well. But you know, just the way I see it, I can go to court and challenge, you know, I can go to court and challenge the fact that we have a speaker who came out, uh, and gave a ruling that is not neither there nor here. So very soon I'll start going to court to seek for clarification on the 5 questions that I'm having about the works which were done by this parliament, the impeachments that they've done. Actually, those who have been impeached with this parliament.
It's only
Be
it's only Rigathi.
No, be it the deputy governors,
No, they
be
don't pass
it
through parliament. The governors do not pass through parliament. They just only go to Senate. It's only Rigathi Gachagua that his impeachment was initiated at the parliament.
okay, yeah. So whatever decision has been made by this parliament that has affected anyone, they have a right, they can argue, they can still hang on it, and possibly, if we have a court that listens, a court that also a judiciary that understands, the ruling, then possibly they should try and come out and fight for their legal right. Yeah, so I can see Gypsy Corner, a good friend, is talking about. I thought Ruto is above everyone. Remember, he's learned and educated. I want to speak about that PhD, but I'm tempted not to speak. Uh, I'm not going to give my view on that PhD or how learned our president is. I left that to Miguda, and so because if I speak about it, maybe some of our friends might say that we are not doing what is right. But maybe I wanted to give our stand as a channel. Just we've said it here not once, not twice. We are not sycophants of any politician. We're not sycophant of any side of the political party, be it Azimio, be it Kenya Kwanza. What we do here is we just give our thoughts, and we're not doing it while aligning, or making that decision based on the tribe where we come from or the way we want things to go. We don't do that. We give uh, a genuine interpretation of what we think. I personally I'm not aligned to any political party, be it Azimio or KK, because from where I see it, I believe that Azimio, Kenya Kwanza, they're the people, they're part of problems that we are having as a people. And from where I see it, I believe that they're the people that if we want good leadership or good things in this republic, we have to come out and remind those people in those parties that we are not happy with their ruling, we are not happy with their leadership, and they should go. That is the stand that we have here. So anybody thinking or saying that we are having, I don't know, political or tribal or whatever, me here, of course, as much as I'm a Luo, personally, I've not liked how Raila has behaved politically. And we've mentioned it here, not once, not twice. And that doesn't, being that I'm coming from that area, does not give me a ticket to support him. He's not paying me. I'm suffering because of him, and is that party that he leads, and so I have nothing to support or to speak good or positive about them. When we go to Kenya Kwanza, the leadership, I cannot support a president that is leading abductions in the Republic of Kenya. Youths are being killed left, right, and center. I cannot support, and I cannot associate myself with them. Whether it is Kalonzo or Rigathi, I cannot support them as well because they've been in the political class. They've not changed anything. Just because they are out speaking their mind does not warrant them or does not convince me that they are good leaders. Part of my stand and our stand here is, in all these people who are in the political class, they're not genuine. And so we have no time to support or to stand by either of them, whether it is Ruto, whether it is Raila, Kalonzo, Rigathi, or whoever. So I think to have friends who are having a different opinion, they have that right. Remember, we're in Kenya and the constitution is very clear. You have a right to speak your mind, freedom of speech, so long as you're not going against someone's right. So, because I was reading some comments here, and I realized that maybe something is not well somewhere. So I just needed to do that clarification on behalf of our good friends who are always with us here. But again, to everyone who has stood with us, we don't take it for granted. We appreciate, and we truly appreciate, and we appreciate. So that is our stand. So maybe Miguda, you can give us your take on what happened in Isiolo. It is, I know you watched it, and there are so many things which are coming from that point. Tunaambiwa that there were resistance, tunaambiwa that there were tribal comments that were made in that place. Maybe you can tell us what you saw over there while the president was touring the northeastern region.
What I saw in Isiolo, that is exactly what the ground is. And it's good that Mr. President has been lying, people have been lying to him, or those who are close to him, that all is good, but all is not good. Actually, that is the ground, what he witnessed in Isiolo. And I angered him, and he said that, huwezi tisha serikali ya Kenya. No one was threatening Mr. President. No one can threaten him. Those who are civilians and armed, and he was surrounded with the security officers, the elite squad. So no one can even think of throwing stone at him. He should not, there's no cause for alarm, just relax. But people must respond because people are not feeling good as a nation. People are suffering, that's the reality. And that was a response to the people that even though you have this, you have whatever to us, but we the people. This is our stand, and this is our way. And I think we angered him. He responded harshly. Of course, a human being can respond how he likes. But what I want to say that he was in the northern eastern, but someone at Garissa told me when I reached someone at Garissa how the ground was. He said that the ground is not good. But it's good, it is good for me now because whenever we speak over here, people will just tell you you are tribal, you must respect the president, you must align yourself with the government, you must. Hey, you must for how long? But but of course, it's good that our friends have seen what's happening at Isiolo. That's the ground. Actually, that's how people can respond to a native state because things are not working very well. That could be input, Makubra, that what happened at Isiolo is what is on the ground. It's high time the president should look at the solutions.
Okay, thank you. Douglas Douglas is saying, hire me as your lawyer, though I'm a nurse. Okay. Douglas, maybe you can talk behind the tents. You can be my good lawyer. Yeah, so I think we've just come towards the end of the show, and I'm not going to go. We are not going to go further. Mr. Miguda, I'll just give you a chance to give your final remarks, and then maybe we'll close.
My final remarks: Wetangula violated the law, and if Wetangula is a law-abiding citizen, let him do the necessary. Then I render resignation as the Party of Ford Kenya. At the same time, preside over the leadership of the House. Let them not buy time, because things must be done in the right manner. And finally, Mr. President witnessed that hostile reception in Isiolo, and that is exactly how Kenya is. And let not those people who surround him lie to him, or the intelligence, that all is well. Don't worry. He should be worrying as the head of the state. And he should also see on how to make sure that things work out for the people of Kenya, because it's about the people of Kenya, not his friends. See you next time. To our viewers, those who are watching for this first time, kindly subscribe to the channel, and you can give us likes, or you can share the video. You can also watch the hard video. Bye, everyone.
You can't support evil. It was sad to see. Miguda, I don't know whether you watched this, but I was forgetting. I don't know whether you watched the, the two things that happened in Nakuru. One, the activist who was killed in Nakuru was being laid to rest today at their home in Siaya. And again, yesterday you saw the boy who was abducted, and the people who saw him say that he was abducted by the KWS. And yesterday there was a somber mood in the courts when the court ruled that the boy is not in the custody of KWS, and that the family should look somewhere else. Maybe I know you've given your final remarks, but just give us, tell us what happened in the two cases. The one of the activist who was being buried, who was killed in Molo, and for the young man Brian.
About the activist, we can just request justice for him, because he was killed by young people because of his political stand, his political decisions. It means that having a different opinion in this country is an offense. If I disagree with you, then you have to take my life. That is not how democratic society works. But that's not how we will operate as a country. Because no one was going to take that seat. Just let someone express his views or our views. You compete on the ground, then the people will decide. And that's what's called democracy. You should not go to that extent of taking someone's life. We condemn that act, and we just request justice for Otieno, even when he was buried, but we still request that there should be justice for the family, those who are left behind, and the friends as well. The order was given by the court so that it was what is known as amicus corpus, that bring the person dead or alive. That's a very delicate order, because the court requested that you produce, for instance, if someone is appear right now, there can be an order from the court that you want the body. What you want is the body, whether the guy is alive or dead, bring the body. but they failed to bring that body. So whether it was dead or alive, it was not brought before the court, and that is one of the content of court order. And we don't, up to now, we don't know whereabouts of that guy. We just request that that order should be respected and the person should be produced, whether dead or alive. At least the family can be aware of what has happened to their person. And we still condemn the issue of abduction because it has reduced, but not, it used to be much, but currently they are doing it bit by bit. They're taking 1 week, they abduct one person at a point. It should come to an end. It's not good for the, because as a government, as a leaders who are in this country, you should not preside over abductions. You should be the people who are defending the people's rights and defending the people's properties and defending the people. That is the role of the government, to protect its peoples. That's the first priority. And even if you look at these Western countries, if an American can be abducted here in Kenya or can be killed, that is how when you know how American state love their citizens. They are fully protected home and away. We should protect our citizens here home. Kenya should be first. Let us give priority to Kenya's home here, because I understand that if in those foreign countries there's some mistreatment. So why should I be mistreated in my home country? Same time I'm being mistreated in foreign country. I should enjoy all my rights in my country. I should live in peace and liberty as a citizen of this Republic of Kenya. That's why we still appeal that let us put Kenya first. And put Kenya first means that we put Kenyans first. The people of this country should come first. Their rights should be protected. They should be allowed to exercise their civil and political rights the way our leaders are also exercising their civil and political right, because we understand what happened. When president speaks, people are objecting. But no one has abducted Mr. President. No one has threatened him. Even when the MPs are speaking, they're allowed, they're able to speak. But whenever an ordinary citizen speaks, he's being abducted, threatened, whatever they're doing to him. I don't know why. Let us keep watching upon, let us understand this issue that criticism is not enmity. And politics is not enmity. But the fact that I disagree with you doesn't result to enmity. Let us just play safe politics, clean politics, whereby we disagree, then we work together, put Kenya first and we put Kenya first. That could my end. Makobura, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity to thank all our viewers, especially those who commented or gave us their view at the comment section. We really appreciate the fact that you took your time to be with us up to this time. We don't take it for granted. Tunashukuru sana. And we pray that may God, give you the grace to always do what is good and what is right for yourself, for your people around you, and for the whole country. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Brother Ben and Mr. Miguda for joining the show and also giving us their comment. And everyone who commented, Douglas Kibogong, Gypsy Corner, Eric Ayaga, Gitonga, Judith Karuitha, thank you so much. And Brenda Obedi, thank you so much. I also saw I Am Who I Am. Sante sana, thank you so much for coming. And also Mdumez, thank you so much for also coming. We really appreciate. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. I'm taking this opportunity now to wish you all a blessed evening, a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon from wherever you are. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Sante.